guys, it's Upshatter here, and welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers. Righty, today, well, we're gonna start with the basics. But before I do that, let me just talk about something that I was made aware of via comment again. And I actually didn't know that, and I had to kind of try it out in creative mode first because I couldn't get my head around it at first. But when I said this vehicle is going to be mostly powered by solar panels, there is actually a way to make this vehicle also get power from turbines, interestingly enough. Now, there's technically two ways to do this. One way is to have just turbines on your vehicle, and then every once in a while, if you need energy, you just lock it down with like landing gears or something like that, and then just convert the whole thing to a station. You can do that. However, that's a bit awkward because essentially the locking down is something that you cannot put on the hotkeys. You know, you cannot put it into the bar. You have to go to the inventory, or not the inventory, you have to go to here and do this convert to ship, convert to station thing all the time. So that's a bit awkward. There's another way to do it, however, to make turbines work. And it's kind of tricky. Essentially, a turbine works when it's attached to a grid that's fixed in place. And that doesn't have to be like so when it's into the in the ground. It can also be fixed in place via landing gear. However, again, the turbine must be on the same subgrid. That's extremely important. The subgrid has to be the same. Meaning, let's say we put, I'm just gonna mimic this with just with normal steel blocks here. Let's say this is a piston, and this extends downward, and now here is a landing gear or a magnetic plate, and that attaches to the bottom. If I put then a turbine up here, that's not gonna work. What I will have to do, instead of putting a magnetic plate here that's gonna lock directly, I'm gonna have to, like, for example, put armor plates like so, and then put a magnetic plate below that, and then, for example, put the turbine onto here. Then that works, because that's the same subgrid, and that subgrid is directly locked with the planet or the asteroid or whatever. So technically, we can make turbines work on this bad boy. And I actually also have already an idea, kinda. Essentially, what we're gonna have to do, or what I think what I will want to do, is we're gonna have, I'm not gonna put it down completely because it's gonna go all over the place, because we don't have actually we do have energy, but we would have to weld it completely. I'm thinking about like about 4 hinges, like, for example, one here, I'm not looking at if it's correct, and then 2 at the back as well in the same positions. And then, well, actually the hinges are probably gonna be, well, I have to kind of completely think about how they're actually going to work. But they're going to be something like this. And then there's going to be exactly these things here. They're going to go down like that with a magnetic plate, probably. And then on top of here, there's going to be the turbine. Kind of like this. And then if you flip them downwards like that and you can connect them, then they're locked. This subgrid is then locked in place, and therefore the turbine is going to work. And if we don't need it anymore, we can just flip it inwards. I don't know if they're going to be like at the end here exactly, or if, you know, they're going to be maybe somewhere over here, and then there's just going to be a hole, like a little slit in here where they can slide downwards. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, but that supposedly should work. We just have to make sure that we can actually make the magnetic plates touch the ground. That's going to be the biggest problem, because normally you would just do that with a piston. But the thing is, if you do it with a piston, then the turbine has to essentially go at the bottom of the piston where the magnetic plate is going to be, and that's awkward because that means the turbine is actually going to be quite low to the ground. You know, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's kind of strange, but I guess that's how we're going to do it. All right. Now, I think also something very nice thing that was pointed out is that I should probably start with the conveyor network, because that's probably the most important network that I have to put down anyway. Although to do that, I kind of have to have a very rough idea of where certain things go, you know, where certain things are gonna go out. But I think generally speaking, it's a very smart idea to put conveyor networks down. So let's see. It's gonna go to the generator, filling up all my bottles again. Excellent. And how are we doing on material? I mean, we have a bunch of steel plates. Now, I wonder if I should start, like, putting a few things down. You know, like, very basic stuff. So, for example, what I definitely know what I want is refineries. We definitely need refineries. And we definitely need assemblers on this bad boy. Right? Maybe not as many assemblers, but definitely a bunch of refineries. At least, like, 2, I would say. Maybe 4. And where are we gonna put these? I would try to put, like, machinery, important machinery, more to the center of the whole craft, if that makes sense. Now, if I count this, how much do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be in 2s, right? Which means the middle is going to be right here. This is essentially the middle. And middle block from here is probably going to be this one. That was just a guess. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that should be it. So it's 10 and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 10 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, there's a hole here for a weird reason. Okay, cool. So we have 10 blocks each. So if I would just have to start, I would start like so. With refineries. This. And then having 2 layers in between those, which are gonna be for the mods, obviously, right? Actually, I'm gonna turn this around. It's a bit easier to place like that. So yeah, like so and like so, most likely. Yeah? And then here in the middle, there's going to be like a lot of storage and also a lot of assemblers and such. Right. Let me think. I'm gonna start welding a few things here. Like the things that I place stuff on is immediately gonna get welded, so it doesn't like get away, essentially. You know, so we don't forget about it. But yeah, it's gonna take a lot of freaking armor plates. This is gonna be an expensive build, but I kind of like it. Right? Just get that all in here, all that material. And I also want to already set up the essentially the sorting system as good as or as best as I can to the best of my abilities, I think is the phrase. Where I want to make sure that certain components and certain things don't go into the same cargo container, you know, so we just have a little bit of order. But then again, we should still be able to, like, access... There should be, like, a central component, a central access point where we can just get anything out if we wish. You know? But yeah, I think first we have a... like, some sort of container, like, right in the middle here. That's probably gonna house a lot of, like, raw materials. Or essentially, I personally think the drill is gonna be in the middle here. That's what I think, to be honest. So, let's just start cutting a hole here for now. So this is essentially the middle of the craft. Now, let's open this up a bit more. Something like that, yes? Now, actually, let's cut these off as well. And again, I'm not 100% sure yet how I'm gonna do the drills. But oh yeah, by the way, just to answer a comment, I actually didn't get to answer the comments yet. Sometimes I'm a bit in. Sometimes I forget. So I'll answer it right now. I'm probably not gonna add more mods to this playthrough. I know there's a couple of very interesting mods, especially for drilling stuff. But I'm gonna try to keep this as vanilla as possible, I suppose. So yeah. Some more. Jesus, we're chewing through these so quickly. So here is gonna be like the drill hole. And then I'm just gonna... I mean, we can move these still, kinda. There's probably gonna be, like, over here, most likely, there's gonna be some sort of cargo container that is gonna store all my raw materials, like the raw ore. Right? Which primarily comes from the drilling operation, which will probably be connected to the top of this thing, if I had to guess. And then, essentially, the refineries are obviously going to be connected to that container. Maybe I should get the actual conveyor block. That might be a bit more useful. I think that is a connector, and I think this one is... Actually, I can do a T-block here, can I? Yes. Neat. Okay. So like this, maybe there's going to be a T-block over here as well, actually, but we're doing this like one step at a time. Then this is going to go over here. Then I think here is where I'm going to have the conveyor sorter. One of these. And on the other side, it's going to be pretty much the exact same thing. I'm not quite sure what happens if you have two conveyor sorters that have the same kind of like whitelist permission to collect everything. Essentially, if they're gonna fight each other for the resources and they're gonna split them equally. If they do, I have to kind of change this up into having this maybe one block back and then a sorter right here and then a T section after that. Kind of have to think to maybe try this out at one point. But to be fair, this is... We should be able to move that quite quickly, and also, you know, we're gonna build this like bit by bit, essentially. We're gonna start at the bottom here, start putting things on it, and then, you know, slowly stack other things on top of it. Is how we're gonna probably do that. Now, when it comes to the drill, honestly, what I think is probably the most effective thing that we could do, and also the easiest thing to not make this extremely complicated, is just essentially a straight downward drill with maybe like 5 or maybe like 9 drill heads that just hangs on a gazillion pistons, not a gazillion pistons, but, you know, a bunch of pistons that just... I'm gonna lock myself in place wherever I want materials and then just downwards, you know, for an extended amount, essentially. We're just gonna have to hide these away properly, is what we'll have to do. And I also think maybe we'll be able to employ some hinges here, for proper positioning and such. So, let me think about this. Let me think about this while I'm in the air and wasting hydrogen. What I'm oh, I disabled it, I didn't. Okay. So what I'm thinking is essentially that I'm just gonna do it with blocks, I think, for now. It's something like this, that there's like a hinge here, and that essentially there's gonna be a bunch of, ran out of plates. Genius. Let's actually get, there we go, a couple more of those. Essentially we're gonna have to have a bunch of conveyors that go like this, and then they're going around the corner here, like so, and here is where the pistons are gonna begin. You know, piston, 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 lots of pistons, and basically until we reach here. And so, what then will happen is maybe I'll have to actually move it like one layer above that, because it has to actually clear, actually 2 layers, I think. Yeah, I think 2 layers above that, because it has to clear all of this. It has to be kind of in the middle if we swing it with the hinge. So it can basically go down like this into a 90-degree angle, and then we can extend the piston downwards, you know? And since it's not having to deal with rotation and everything, we can probably have the downward extension of the drill have to... Well, we should be able to make this quite quick, essentially, is what I'm saying. You know? So it doesn't have to be careful that it doesn't destroy anything. It could probably be made fairly quickly. Now, it's not the most sophisticated of drill operations, but it should do the trick for the most part. I wonder how deep we're gonna be able to go, because most minerals are at, I would guess, about like 40 to 50 meters depth in the ground. Maybe 60 sometimes. But even if we only get like basic materials like stone, 50 meters depth would be incredible amount of material. Right? So, yeah. Let me think. Actually get some more of that. Let me think this through. So, if there's going to be a hinge here, to be able to get to the middle, which is 1, 2, 3 blocks away. Kinda. It's not perfect because the middle is, you know, 2 blocks. We have to make this 3 blocks high, right? It's falling into the wrong direction, but yeah, like so. We can actually mimic it on this side. So it's 1 and then 2, and then it should go down. So 1, 2, there. This is where the pistons are gonna come down on this block. So that works. I think we have to. Yeah, we have to kind of weld this hinge because we have to fix it in place. We have to be able to move this bad boy for it to be able to be moved, essentially. So let me add stuff to the build planner. I hope I got both parts of that. Let's see what we can do. Interesting, it added girders. Why did it add girders? What the fuck? Oh, I must still have something else in my build planner, don't I? No? Okay. Strange. Well, now I should probably... Maybe there was something in the build planner, but it's now gone because I got it. Okay. So we have to immediately, essentially, get this bad boy. Hinge. Just this one. So this is gonna be... I shouldn't call it vehicle because it's gonna be on the vehicle anyway. So, but this is gonna be essentially the drill hinge. And I'm gonna put vehicle in the back right now because we have 2 of them. You know? So that. Now, I'm gonna use some velocity to move this bad boy. There we go. Pretty much, I wanna... Oh. Yeah, you know what? To the other side is maybe not so bad. That is maybe not so bad, actually. Because now we can kind of see with how much drills we'll get away with. Or rather... Actually, these cannot just be blocks, obviously. These has to be conveyors. I just realized. And I think we might want to use... Do we want to use these, or do we want to use the normal ones? We might want to just use the normal ones. Let's see. Yeah, let's get a bunch of those. Okay. So it goes 1, 2, and then 3, and then goes up like that for a bunch. Now the question is, for how much is this gonna go? Now, we said we want to go to maybe like 50 meters depth, with which would be 5 pistons in theory. But 5 pistons only means 50 meters extension worth of piston. But that doesn't mean we will get to 50 meters depth. Let's just... Yeah, I kind of have to do this trial and error. I'm sure you could math this. You could do the maths on this one, but I think it's too complicated to do. So there's 1, 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6. I think adding more would probably be a bad idea. Or wouldn't it? Yeah, because if I add more, it's actually not going to be able to clear this. However, if I would abandon my fixation on having things perfectly symmetrical, we could just extend this hole here by 1 more block. Which would mean this piston is now perfectly in the middle, so to speak. Meaning it has quite good clearance. So, now we could slap some drills onto that, right? So here we could slap all these drills on it. Now, the question is, can we clear everything if we flip the switch and get this thing back out? Is it gonna clear, or I think it's gonna bang onto this. Kind of have to see. This is not the optimal observation, but actually it's not bad from the distance. Okay, so let's see. We have the hinge. Now, right now we are on... Actually... Oh, whoops. That is... that. Yeah, see? Already the wrong freaking hinge. It's on minus, so let's get it to plus 0.5. I want it to be slow. Now the question is, can it lift this whole thingamajig? And at the moment it doesn't seem to be able to lift it. I think. I think that's the problem. At the moment it's not lifting it, right? Yeah, I think that's the problem. So we have to give it more torque? Is that what we need to do? Why is current angle 270? That makes no sense. Did I accidentally attach the thing to something? Okay, let's keep this... Well, let's keep it at 1,000. I'm sure nothing is gonna go wrong. Let's keep this here and see if the weight is a problem. Because if the weight is a problem, we might have to employ several hinges, which is dangerous to say the least. Or we could just put this construction like that without the hinge and just the pistons, which I guess would work too. Would be not as elegant, I suppose. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep like deleting stuff and see if it's able to actually do it. Is it moving or no? That's the sun, right? Yeah. It's probably not even able to move just the bare minimum here. No. That's crazy. Why the hell is it not moving? You know what? We're just... I'm trying to be too fancy, I think. Honestly. I am trying to be way too fancy for my own good. So we're just gonna do this the simple idiot way. By just having... don't have interior plates. By just having conveyors and just looping it over here. I mean, this vehicle never said it has to be pretty, right? Something like that. Then where's the middle? One more. I think this one has to be the one that goes down. Okay. Oh yeah, obviously it has to be pistons from here. Let's see how many pistons we can get again here. Piston. Piston. Another one, so that's 3. 4. 5. And then it's fine if we have them like so, because... Well, actually, this is kind of risky. Because now they are basically on the exact... Kind of on the same level as the wheels. We have to go a little bit up again. Let's go 1 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Piston. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then, yeah, like so. Okay, that's better. That's better. I think this is doable. So like this, we should be able to drop this thing quite deeply. And should be able to at least get a bunch of basic resources. Right? Kind of like that. Now, if I'm thinking when it comes to just organizing, I'm probably want to get an assembler somewhere in the front here. I think it's probably gonna be one of these. And I'm probably gonna do like a double assembler. So, which means I'm just gonna swoop below and do a little bit of welding here. Get these two welded. There we go. Now, that means, yeah, I'm gonna replace these two with T-sections, like so. Then we're gonna run these. I think I'm gonna run them really close to ground level here. I think that. There. Oh. Ran out of interior plates again. Okay. There. Run this to the middle here. And T-section this direction. And here there's going to be another conveyor sorter here, which then is going to T-section and C-section run this into these two, which then in turn will put all of that into a container, at least one, over here. Which, just in case, we're gonna again run a sorter between this. There we go. That should pretty much end up with me having components in this thing, in this container, and nothing else. Only components, which is pretty much the only thing I need. The only other thing I'll have to check out is hydrogen. That's something, if we dig it up, we'll have to filter this into a different part of the vehicle. Probably further to the back, there's going to be a generator that is going to do, I think, well, maybe one tank of oxygen, and then the rest is going to be hydrogen. Mainly oxygen because of hydrogen, mainly because of the jetpack, but oxygen maybe because we might essentially, in the end, want to be able to actually make a ship or a rocket that brings us back into space. However, I think it was also suggested, if I remember correctly, that we kind of want to have like a docking station on there for this bad boy, which I kind of like. We might be able to do this at the back, and then we'll be able to fill this back up with hydrogen and oxygen. You know, when we roam like the ice fields here and drill down and get some ice. That is, I think that's a cool idea. So that is definitely also something we should do. But yeah, I think it's very important to do this like one step at a time here. And try not to basically have too much an emphasis on design, essentially, or at least not on visual design, on visual, you know, quality, let's say, but more on what do we need and where does it need to be. And I think this is a very good base circuit that we have built here. You know, we have a resource collection, we have resource refinement, then we have resource, like, refinement again into end components. The only thing, again, that we need to do now is to filter out any ice. Maybe even have a dumping method for excess stone. I'm not quite sure how important that's going to be. However, we could also do that in theory over here. In theory. But, we'll see. I'll have to think about it. But yeah, I think so far so good. I mean, we got some progress. It's not like the biggest of progress, obviously, but we're getting there. And as you can see, our drill now is getting slowly but surely into that stone-rich, deepest layer of stone here. So this is hopefully gonna give us soon a bit more material. I'm not even sure if we're actually producing something at the moment. Not sure at all. Let me check that out real quick, actually, after I got myself some energy. Gonna have to check that out real quick. It sounds like we're still doing something, but I think that's just the refinements that we're doing right now, so... let's see. This one is done. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're... Oh, okay, he's still doing that, actually. The basic assembler is doing steel plates slowly. Okay, fair enough. So, yeah. Okay, so that means next time we're gonna take a look at the, maybe the stone, you know, extraction. Because that might be a problem if we're digging tons of stone. or not necessarily stone, maybe also gravel extraction, which would have to come like right here. Maybe this is gonna be replaced by a conveyor block, and then on top another conveyor sorter, which then moves the gravel to, I mean, ideally to the back, honestly. That would be the most ideal place for it, just dumping it out the back. But to be fair, we actually haven't defined yet what is front and what is back. So far, this is quite ambivalent here. So we could define this as the backside, which would mean we could just run the stone extractor, or the gravel extractor in this case, right on top of here, over this, and back out here. I think that makes a lot more sense, actually. Which would mean this is gonna be the oxygen and stuff. It's gonna be in the front. I mean, we could do the landing pad off here. I'm pretty sure the conveyor sorters do not block gases, I think. Let me just check here if we... ores, ingots... Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do not block gases. Unless they're in bottles, obviously. So we could still put the landing pad then above this bad boy, which would also allow us to get like base components into our ship from here, and also tank it up with, you know, the various fluids and gases it needs. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay, good. We got a plan for next time then. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. So this week is gonna be still a normal episode, and then the week after that, the next 2 weeks over Christmas and New Year, I'm not sure yet exactly how, you know, consistently I'm gonna be posting videos, because I'm gonna be away for, you know, family celebrations and other stuff. So I think I'll put out an update at the end of this week when I know more. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and take care.